Everyone laughed at me, and that traumatized me for like 6 years. Everyone forgot about that.
You quit YouTube at the height of your fame.
The hard truth is like, in this life, nobody really cares about you, which is a good and a bad thing.
If you're making content, you're not normal. This is like the start of your villain arc.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever told anybody this before, but
Anthpo quit YouTube before it was cool. Despite filming for over 4 years, getting millions of followers, showing his life as if it were a funny sitcom. He quit to be free from YouTube's algorithm. Now he's returned, and today he's gonna share why, what it was like working with MrBeast, and how hard it can be balancing entertaining you, the viewers, with his own dreams and passions. This pod is sponsored by me. If you enjoy these podcasts, we're hosting live talks from many of the creator guests and more in our community Discord on how to be a better creator. More on this later and link in description below. You quit YouTube before it was cool, before everybody else did, at the height of your fame. What was going on there?
yeah, I mean, I've been making content for so long. It's like working a job, really. And I was like, oh, I want to like try something different. And then immediately I graduated and then was poached over to Beast. So I worked on the Beast team for like 4 months. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Like, I should just do it, but do it right. You know, my content's very different now. It's not the same, like, wholesome goofing around. I'm trying to, like, make YouTube content and just, you know, try it out and see how it feels with, like, obviously the underlying wholesome, weird, awkward stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I quit, and then everyone else quit, and I was like, well, now it's not cool.
See, it was all because of you.
Yeah.
You started this all. You brought it upon us because you went out with such style. I think you set the framework for everyone. You know, I want my own special goodbye video. And now every YouTube creator, it's clickbait, right? They're launching a merch drop and they're like, I have something to tell you. What did you think was going to happen next when you stopped? Did you know one day you're going to come back?
I always thought I was going to do something else in the space. Like I was going to work for another creator or like make a movie or something. And I think that like I had just not done everything I wanted to on YouTube. I'm going through my bucket list of like, what are the craziest, like cringiest, weirdest things I can do just so I can hit all the check boxes. And then at that point, if I want to retire or like work a corporate job, like, hey, if anyone's hiring, you know, I mean.
If you weren't a creator, what corporate job would you like? Can you guys picture Anthony like in a suit and tie, like as an accountant? Like who are you fooling here? Like what corporate job would you be doing?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I feel like I look more like intimidating than I usually do with this hair. Yeah, I look like the kid Sid, right? From yeah, I look like Sid. It's so bad. This was for a video. It'll come out in like 5 months, but
5 months.
Yeah, probably.
See, I feel you're as like a Super Saiyan. The more I see your hair grow out, the more I've been impressed by you, and now like you look like fucking Krillin.
Yeah.
It was a big 180. So okay, so you quit. You're like, weren't really sure what you wanted to do. You were even thinking about going like, you know, gosh forbid the corporate route, which you know I did for years. I can tell you, it does suck away your soul. You said you like in that year in between 4 months, you went and worked for Beast. MrBeast seems really different than the type of style of content you do. He employs like over 100 people, and you're just like doing stuff for him. So why Beast?
I definitely learned a lot, but I learned different stuff. I thought I'd be learning about the creative process, and I learned more about the business and structure. But yeah, it was great. I mean, I love the people there. They were like Carl, Nolan, Chandler. Like they'd already like been fans. They like followed me on Twitter, and so when I went there, I already had like a warm introduction. They're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I work here." It's like
you just like DM Jimmy and be like, "Yo, can I do this for you?" Like, what happened? Like, did you send him like a resume?
No, I had a connection there, and he's just like, come work here. I don't even know if Jimmy maybe has seen my content, but he's so, like, he's locked in on his own stuff. So
yeah, I get that. I do remember you said you learned a lot about business. So I have great chats with Anthony every now and then, usually on creative things. I remember, like, yeah, a year ago, I get this phone call, and he's like, "Can you tell me how you do your bookkeeping and taxes?"
Oh,
like, why? What's going on? Is that what you mean when you learned the business side?
Yeah, so much of being a creator is so boring, guys. Like, this is the best part. Like, truly, like, this is the part that I look forward to is, like, meeting you guys and hearing feedback and just, like, yeah, it's great. Thanks. The rest of it sucks, guys. It's like, even the filming, I'm, like, exhausted. I'm filming a video right now. At the end of this will be part of a video in the future. But it's, like, logistics. Like, I was sweating coming in here because I'm, like, running around setting everything up. So a lot of it isn't very, like, I mean, I'm so grateful, but a lot of it is just, like, taxes. And God.
It was a year, though, in between you quitting and you returning. So 4 months with MrBeast. What were, like, the other 8 months? Were you just, like, vibing?
Yo, who here has played Baldur's Gate? Yeah, I spent like a month of my life playing Baldur's Gate.
Was this before or after Beast?
This is right after Beast. I was like, I need to take a break.
You're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and then right after that, I started planting seeds for videos. So I already have like 10 filmed.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've kind of gone in order of dumbest and stupidest to like the goatest.
Only getting better.
Because I'm like, if I make my best videos first and then upload a video about furries, I'm gonna lose my whole audience. So like, I'll start from the worst video and then work my way up.
I mean, I think your point, though, I mean, I'm hearing Baldur's Gate was your version, I suppose, of therapy and self-care.
I guess so, yeah. No, I take care of myself. Huh? That's a great question. I tried so hard to sleep with Shadowheart in my Baldur's Gate playthrough.
Dude, that's the basic answer.
I know,
Everyone
it is.
tries to sleep with Shadowheart.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with what we're talking about, in the game you can sleep with characters like Nasty sleeping with.
Yeah, one of them turns into a bear in the middle.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, my next idea was to sleep with the bear.
Tell me a little bit more about this creative process when you're like, yo, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back in a big way. Like, what helped you get there?
My ideas are really dumb, but like I know in my heart of hearts they're like funny and interesting. So pitching them at Beast was like, it's an uphill battle because, you know, it's a different vibe. Like if I were to pitch to Jimmy like, hey, I want to go like eat a jar of cheese balls in New York City for like thousands of people, like he would never say yes to that. I need to like find what's like I'm capable of doing without a team like that and like find what I enjoy making. Because if I'm going to spend thousands of hours of my life doing something, I'm going to like
the agency, the ability to at least choose what you want to make. That's important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's harder. Like, how do you know whether a video is good? Does it matter how many views and clicks it gets?
So I think the thing I try to do, I'm spilling the secret sauce. If you guys want to be creative, this is my secret sauce. Secret sauce. The thing I'm trying to do is like package it like a MrBeast video, but ultimately try to like incorporate some semblance of like something to learn. The furry video is a bad example, but it was like I wanted to make an objective piece on furries. Like I'm gonna go to a furry convention and just like experience it and like talk to furries. I definitely had horrible experiences there, but I'm not trying to like one experience with a furry is not indicative of the entire community. So I didn't include so many of the bad things. And like my alien video is like, I'm making a video that is meant to be clicked, but ultimately like it's a video on this like beautiful story about this book author. For those of you who didn't see it, like I tried to fake an alien invasion and it kind of worked. I became famous on TikTok, kind of. And then
you have a TikTok that's like Alien Lover 67 or something.
Aliens in Florida 69.
Pardon me. Sorry. Good to know.
And the video on the first is actually I'll tell it. I invited 20 people on a date at the same time to a coffee shop. And then I hosted the Bachelor. So like I told them you could leave now and I'll just give you $100. Or you can get in this limo with me and we'll go over to this mansion and spend the whole day and just do the Bachelor.
Oh, didn't see you there. Hi, I'm Quinn. I'm a YouTuber who works here at Karat, and I'm here to help you out. Have you ever wanted to get real-time mentorship from the creators you see here on this very podcast? Well, what if I told you there's a place where you can get just that? That's right, they're in our Discord, and you can join too. Every week we'll be featuring a successful creator to dive deep on the business of being a creator. It's a live show with real-time interaction where we'll be digging into subjects like how to create the best thumbnails, how to maximize your brand deals, how to level up the storytelling in your videos, and so much more. If you're interested, you can check out the link in the description to apply to join the community today.
I told them you could leave now and I'll just give you $100, or you can get in this limo with me and we'll go over to this mansion and spend the whole day and just do the Bachelor. And then everyone ended up going. And so it's kind of ultimately is just on like dating culture and like, I don't know. I was on Hinge for like 2 months.
When you were on Hinge, did you identify yourself as a YouTuber?
No, but I think like 3 or 4 of the people that showed up, they were like, I know who you are. I'm like, uh-oh.
So what I'm hearing for you, like there's stories you want to tell about people you find interesting or just about yourself, like not that far off toward what you've always been making all along, but now you want people to think it's like MrBeast style.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's crazy? Like I think the Beast formula is finally going away. Like I think finally people are like, oh, I kind of want to watch something with like soul. And like Beast realizes that too. So they're trying to like incorporate this guy Mac a bunch.
Mac has soul.
Yeah, they're trying to incorporate more like meaningful moments. I think all my content moving forwards has that. My favorite part of this video I'm uploading on the first is like, we invited the Vanity Fair lie detector guy, the guy who like interviews celebrities.
Oh yeah.
And we hooked up the last 3 contestants to a lie detector. And anybody know who Kelly Wakasa is?
Yeah, do what excites.
He's another YouTuber. He was the host of The Bachelor. He's hot, way hot. Like I'm not, like he's a hot guy. And I got the people on the lie detector. I'm like, do you think Kelly Wakasa's hotter than me? And all of them said yes. And so like I'm sitting there like crying, like it's fake but also real, like damn. And then the lie detector guy just like pep talks me for like 40 minutes. Like that's the most interesting part of the video for me. It's like this.
Because he felt bad for you.
Yeah, this like nice ass old dude is just like, hey man, like, you know,
I do
life,
think
this is life. I'm like, oh yeah.
I love that because like think about it. Like if you're making content, like you're not normal. Like
That's crazy. No, you're right.
because like you're it's not normal to be like, I so want to be seen and heard to put myself on camera to feel seen and understood. And so I actually think it's kind of beautiful where with something like that, you're embracing this vulnerability of yourself. I think, you know, it's a very basic human need. And I think that's why a lot of us go and try and do all these things in life to make up for it. Go on camera, do big projects. And here you are in front of this lie detector, and you've just had multiple people tell you they want the other guy.
Yeah, it's weird. I think for those of you who want to make content, like so much of it comes down to like thinking people care about you. Like the hard truth is like in this life, nobody really cares about you, which is a good and a bad thing. I called the Bee Gees the Beegees when I was in middle school, and like everyone laughed at me, and that traumatized me for like 6 years. Everyone forgot about that. But for me, it's like, oh my God. So in that regard, the fact that nobody cared is a good thing.
This is like a formative memory. This is like the start of your villain arc.
So like on that note, like to make content, to think people are going to care about you is an inherently like egotistical thing. And it's something that like I think a lot of like existential artists battle with, where it's like, I'm aware that people shouldn't care about me, but I nonetheless have to create things under the pretext that people will care.
You know they don't care, but you're going to tell yourself they do, even knowing they don't.
Yeah, and like you try to get them to care, and it's a rough process. I'm very excited for the next 10 years from now when I'm like living on a lake with a flip phone and like I have a dog and like.
There's this French philosopher named Camus, and his whole theory is like life is absurd. Right? He talks about Sisyphus rolling the stone up in hell, like up all the way to the top, only to have it fall back down. He has to do it over and over again. Like Camus says is like, yeah, but the whole point is you embrace life as absurd. Like that's what makes it meaningful. What I'm hearing from you, you're kind of like, nobody cares, but that's what makes it fun. That's commit to the bit.
Yeah.
Do you think when you think of your philosophy on life, like, is there a broader meaning for you? Like, do you think there's a purpose that you've always been striving for? Or you're like, nah, man, it's turtles all the way down.
Whether or not people want me to create content, I'm just going to do it because I feel like it's my purpose. And then the second I feel like it's not my purpose, I'll move on. And until then, like, hey, thanks for watching. And I mean, things like this. The fact that I've gotten you guys to just come out here and listen to me yap is like, that's so meaningful. So yeah, thanks.
So 24 months, 24 videos. Mm-hmm. You did your first couple. Number 1 was on an alien invasion you faked. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is on the furry convention.
Yes.
Like, what's the common thread, or is it just like super fucking wacky shit?
It's not a well thought out, crafted narrative. Like, I think ultimately a lot of my videos are just bits.
I think for me too, what's really cool, you've already, like a Pokemon, evolved 3 times before. You started off with Fat Yoshi, high school, IRL comedy. During the dark COVID times, you transitioned. You did a whole bunch of green screen stuff with Avatar. Yeah, the house nobody asked for. Nobody asked for it, but you did it.
It's true.
And finally, you had your whole like sitcom college vibe era where we all sort of got like grow up with you. Actually, audience members, which of those 3 phases did you like the most? Shout out 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, nobody liked you at 1.
Sure. Listen, like when I made that content, I was like, I'm just gonna make stuff I know is going to go viral. So there was like no meat behind it. It's just like I'm embarrassing myself in front of my peers. So yeah, I think, I mean, 2 is like my biggest stuff, I'd say. Like I had the most views, but I think 3 is where like I connected with so many of you guys. It seems like a lot of you guys are probably around college age. Like 60% of my demographic is 18 to 24. So it's cool, like even if I played like a little part in making your guys' college career, high schools better, that's so dope. So shout out 3s, shout out 2s, shout out you guys for coming here and listening to us yap. Crazy.
So as you evolved through all these different stages, like what was going through your mind? Because again, you've probably gone through more changes than anybody in recent history. Let's talk a bit from like 1 to 2, right? You're doing all your high school stuff and then COVID shuts down. Were you just like, dang, I got to figure something out? How did the concept come to do all this green screen stuff and the house nobody asked for?
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever told anybody this before, but after high school, I filmed like a goodbye video and was like ready to upload it. And then my friend was like, I wrote like a script for like a parody skit. And he's like, dude, just film it. And if it goes well, then keep doing YouTube.
You almost quit already.
Yeah, I actually almost quit. And then
You're just edging us every time.
I don't know if I like that word for it, but yeah. Yeah, so it was my friend Kieran, who's in a lot of my videos. He was just like, bro, just film it. Shout out Kieran, bro. And then, yeah, it ended up getting like 5 million views in the first like week. And I was like, well, I guess I'm a YouTuber still.
What about the transition then from stage 2 to stage 3, right? Like you had the content house and then you decided to transition to like college sitcom Friends But Real. Why?
I don't know, like if you guys are on your way to, university or school or even just like young adult life, it's something you only get to experience once. Like they say the 20s is like the best time in your life type thing. So I was like, if I'm going to like constantly be editing as a university student, I want to at least be filming something that's like worthwhile.
Yeah. Was it really the best time of your life?
I'd say so. I'd say it was, I mean, it was so stressful and there was tons of just late nights. At the time, like we would always butt heads and like quarrel. I think looking back on it, I got to make really wholesome, fun videos with my friends. All of us are like, dude, like we had something so fun. Like,
this was like 2 years ago. You're not that old.
Yeah, still, but I mean, now in hindsight, like everyone's working corporate and they're like, wow, like we miss
special
stressing out about PowerPoint night. It's like, shit, Enzo doesn't have a presentation ready. And we're all like making fun of Enzo.
Yeah, the best times I was passed by, you don't realize you're in them. It's also kind of wacky though, because 20% of your time's just spent filming. Does that like affect even the friendship itself where you're like, hey, like we got to film something today. Like we got to do a bit.
Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like other vloggers, like, David Dobrik, but like that's a full commodity friendship. I don't think any of my friends consider themselves filming friends. It's more so just like, hey, I have a video. I'm going to spend 200 hours editing, show up for an hour and I'll do the rest.
You mentioned at Beast, you learned a lot about the business side. In your return video, you said you want to be transparent. You shared like how much you've made on YouTube to date.
Yeah.
It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. For context, that's actually not that much given how much you were uploading.
I'm the brokest YouTuber with 1 million subscribers that makes long form videos. And yeah, I mean, like per hour, I think I am like working a 30 per hour job, if that.
Yeah. And so then how are you thinking about it now? Because these new videos you're doing, they're more expensive than acting out Avatar in front of a green screen. Like, how are you funding this? How do you think of, Anthpo as an artist, but Anthpo as a business? What's that?
I have a question first. Are sponsors cringe? Okay, yeah. All right, I'm hearing mixed answers. Yeah, I think that's the tough part where it's like, I'm getting all these sponsor opportunities now, especially like when I came back to YouTube, I did it in like a big way. I'm like, oh, I spent a bunch of money and I'm back and I'm doing this thing for real. I care so much about like the craft. So it's a tough battle to fight. The big thing is to be a creator of scale. Like the video I'm uploading in 3 days costed me $9,000 all in. Like to do that at scale, like I want to keep making really crazy videos that get people talking and have like an ultimate message. I need to make a business out of it. So that's where I think like a product or like sponsors come in. But sponsors are so cringe. They're so necessary. I probably will have a sponsor in my video on the 1st that I'm uploading in like 4 days. But it's like, why are you cheering? Yay! Sponsor! I don't know. It's just like, it kills the momentum. And I just love like the craft. I'm like, oh.
There's different ways of being a creator. Emma Chamberlain did this interview with the New York Times where the interviewer is like, oh yeah, you're a YouTuber. Like, yeah, that MrBeast guy. Because apparently there's only 2 creators in the world. And Emma responds, oh, I'm the total opposite from Jimmy. Jimmy sees YouTube as a business. where the goal almost does seem to reach the most people. And in order to do that, I have to make the most money to reach the most people. Whereas Emma was like, I see YouTube as a creative canvas on which to express myself. Of those two, I'm hearing you lean more toward the second, creative path.
Yeah, that's interesting. Damn, you're like Socrates. That's crazy.
Try, that's why they have me up here.
Yeah,
so like you mentioned on the business side, in order to get to do what you want to do, you got to make money. So like I've already had like 5 agents, by the way, in the industry hit me up being like, I saw, Anthpo. Is he looking for an agent? Like brands want you. I feel like the more you don't want them, the more they want you. It's kind of like dating that way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, I've weirdly fallen into the spot of like the mysterious YouTube guy. A part of me is like, maybe I should just be transparent and like stream and stuff, but I just feel like I'm awkward. Like I'm like, if I were to get on a stream and like just yap and be this like forthcoming guy, it's just not who I am. And yeah, ever since I've done this new thing of like, oh, I'm uploading once and I'm a bit more, serious. Like all these brands are like, hey, do you want to work? I'm like, kind of no, but.
Have you done brand deals in your videos to date?
Yeah, I've locked in 2, but it's with a company that I have worked with personally and I like a lot.
Oh, so you actually like them?
Yes.
How do you choose? And how do you figure out your rates?
My rates are weird because I feel like I have a very loyal, cool fan base. Shout out you guys. Most YouTubers that get millions of views have a lot of kids in their audience, which I don't, which has been, especially when you're making like real life content.
Actually, yeah, who do you think is the average Anthpo viewer?
Like this is exactly who I pictured.
Yeah, everyone, so what, like ages, what are you guys, like 20s?
18.
Okay, so like
yeah.
24, super good looking, smart,
Amazing,
charming,
humble,
diverse.
Beautiful.
Of course, that's your audience.
Yeah, no.
I can see brands want you. You're their wet dream. You have their target demographic.
Yeah. The only thing is like all of us are probably broke.
We also have no money.
Yeah, we're all, I think I've attracted, I got a couple people scratching their heads. That's fascinating. Oh, we got some rich people. Hey, hit me up afterwards. No. Yeah, I think, I've got a fan base of people who like care. I could upload anything and you guys have trusted me to kind of make something entertaining. So I think.
So you have the relationship. So when you say your brand rate pricing is weird, does that mean you just go in and you say, pay me this, or like, go fuck yourself? Like.
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, a YouTuber gets 1 million views usually consistently are making like commentary videos, and maybe the audience isn't as like gung-ho on the creator. And so I have to be like, hey, listen, like first of all, I spent thousands of dollars on this video. And also like, I think my fans will be, I'm only going to work with companies I personally believe in. Like I'll never, is there any Raid Shadow Legends reps here? Like, I'm not going to, my bad. I mean, I love, like I won't work for like a mobile game I don't play. I'm not going to like, I probably won't work for VPNs. I'm just going to work for products and work for sponsors that I personally trust and use.
What was your first brand deal ever?
Okay, well, the first money I had like really made, do you guys know who BBNO Money is?
Yeah, he's done like Edamame, he's done all these great songs, yeah?
We were both kind of like coming up at the same time. So we interviewed him on like my sketch comedy show like 8 years ago. Then when I started making content, he's like, hey bro, like, do you want to use my music in your videos? I'll pay you like $300. And I was like, oh shoot, yeah, for sure. And then I put it in like a video and it got like 12 million views. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I probably should have like charged more for that. And then I think, I don't remember if it was him or Young Gravy, like I did that for like both of them and like some other artists. Their label ends up like claiming the video and then I make no money. And I'm like, and then after that, I think the first brand deal was Honey, and they paid me $600 for a video that got like 500,000 views.
Wow.
So I got scammed, but.
When you now look back at your creator career, which you've been doing now for a while, what, like 7 years, 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, creating in general, probably like 8, 9.
What have been the most fulfilling moments for you? What have been the hardest and most stressful ones?
Yeah, I think like on the cusp of finishing a project is always really fulfilling. And then things like this, or even when I was at Rutgers, like kids would come up to me all the time and be like, I'm here because of you. And they're like shaking me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry.
You're like Rutgers, like recruiting endorsement person.
I am, bro. Rutgers is treating me so bad. Like I've recruited so many people to that school. Even my friends who are still there, they get recognized and they're like, Anthpo, this is the reason I'm going to the school. I just went there because I thought I was going to drop out. So I feel bad that everyone's going there now.
Yeah. What have been the most stressful or hardest moments for you?
I mean, ultimately, I feel like it's when I'm like on like a breaking point for a video where it's like, is this going to happen type thing? An hour ago when I'm wrangling this video together, it's always just like I'm sweating. I don't have a producer right now, so I'm just doing everything myself. Those are the worst moments. Everything else is just per the career. I feel like every YouTuber says the same thing. It's like views are down, people hate me, blah, blah, blah.
You're just like casually, you're just like, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you get big, you have people who don't like you. When you get big, you have, expectations of yourself and your fans have expectations of you. But that's the job. One thing I've learned recently, I did a bit of traveling and I've spent time with some very wise people. And, you have to just be in the middle way. You have to, just be okay with what happens and kind of let life push you around and just breathe. And
Is this new? Is this not your mentality before?
no, yeah, I've tried to chill out a bit more. I was already deadpan, so it's honestly probably bad for me. I feel like I'm even more deadpan now.
Just like the dude, you're just vibing.
I'm just vibing.
I do think one of the biggest things in life is to accept that which you cannot control.
You said that much more articulately than I did.
I sound like Yoda right there. But I think my last question for you is, it's two parts. The first one is, look, you've returned to YouTube. Mm-hmm. You left the mountaintop well before anybody else. You went through a personal journey involving MrBeast and Baldur's Gate. You came back. Do you think other creators are going to do the same? Like, is YouTube improving? You said even Jimmy's changing his videos.
Yeah, I think ultimately when people say they're going to quit YouTube, they mean like, hey, I just need a break. And I think the way to get around that is to have a team or like work on a project with people. I mean, I feel like people who have been working alone are like, this sucks. My life is in my room. And I feel like they're realizing like, oh, I just needed to work with people. Like I have a small team, one full-time and a couple just contractors and friends.
You have an employee. Mm-hmm. You are Anthpo Incorporated. How is it? What was it like when you hired your first person? Like, do you interview them? You recruit them?
He's just the guy who helped me like compile all my videos. And then I was like, dude, you know what? You want a job? Like, I'm just sick of this being like a weird, like we're like in a situationship. And I'm like, I need to just put you on payroll.
And the last question is, for those creators, about half the audience raised their hands when they said they make content. What advice would you give them? Like, place of YouTube now, the place of trying to make content, being artistic, as you said, but dealing with the need for money.
I'll say two things. You're going to make 100 bad videos until you make one okay video. And you're going to make 100 okay videos to make one good video and 100 good videos to make one great video. So you're going to upload bad videos and that's fine.
Sorry, the math on that. I'm not good at math. So that's like, what, is that like 1 million videos before you have a really good video?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it takes time. I mean, realistically, just be okay with uploading bad stuff. And then here's the big thing. And I wanted to make like a full commentary video about this potentially. Everyone is like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber and like do YouTube as my full-time job. I don't think that's like a good idea. I think like ultimately, like when it becomes your job, it becomes less of a fun thing. Like the reason you want to do it full-time now, you'll lose that if it does become your full-time job. So I think there's so much solace in like working a 9 to 5 and working a stable career and then doing creation and streaming and art as like your side piece. There's a great Davis Clark, I think is his name.
Locked in for greatness today because it's time to absolutely hammer some Excel spreadsheets.
This like Instagram guy who's like, I'm absolutely locked in right now. I'm absolutely locked in on Excel spreadsheets. I'm super locked in. And he's like just a guy who works a 9 to 5 job and like he does creation on the side and he has like 1 million followers now. Like people like do it and it's like very fulfilling for them. So don't like have this false expectation like I'm going to be a billionaire and I'm going to be MrBeast and I'm going to make the greatest content. Just like, if it works, it works. If not, like, don't let your passions die. And
when it's a passion, but then you start to get paid for it and it becomes a job, you lose some of that initial spark. Mm-hmm. Have you experienced that yourself?
Yeah, but ultimately, like one of my mottos is like, in life, you know, you have to do what you love, but ultimately, like the really successful people and fulfilled people are people who learn to love what they do. Like editing isn't fun, but I've learned to love it, love the parts of it that, like the alternative is me at a cashier, you know, or like me working behind a desk. And those are things I'm sure if I was in those positions, I'd learn to love them too. There's very few people in this life that truly live a completely blissful life. Like even, you know, Jimmy over at Beast, like his life isn't amazing. Like he still struggles. I'm sure it's hard to get out of bed every day and really hit the book. So yeah, just learn to love it. And that's my big advice, I guess.
Amazing. Anthpo, thank you so much for your time. We're going to do a couple things. So first of all, Anthpo, I'm thinking we bring on a special guest and then Q&A.
Yeah. All right. Firstly, a lot of you guys probably aren't here for me. I've been marketing this event. I said there was a very special guest. I need everybody to get hyped. All right, everybody, give it up for a monk.
Okay, so I am a real monk. So try to gather your heart, gather your resolve, gather your authenticity and sincerity, and we can enter into this experience together.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming with us through this experience. I've felt every emotion now over this past hour. And thank you. What was your name again?
You can call me Bante.
Bante. Thank you so much for your time. Bante.
Yeah, thank you guys so
For your
much.
time. Appreciate all of you coming.
Yeah, Karat is the best. Yeah, use it, it's better than the rest. I am not being paid to say this. I just love Eric a lot. Yeah, Eric is cool. Yeah, I wanna hang with him at a pool. Yeah, Eric is the greatest friend ever. If you think you're him, you're not. Eric, he knows the way. Everybody listen to what I'm about to say. We love you, Eric. We love you, Eric. We love you, Eric. We love you, Eric. Yeah.